Hey guys, this is The Skinny with Mike Mers. I want to go over silencer ownership with you today. Silencer ownership is something I get a lot of emails about, questions, and even just people that meet me and know what I do for a living want to know about it. Something you have to take pretty seriously, but it's not really a big deal as far as paperwork goes. And it can be daunting at first, but really there's not much more paperwork. It's only one form, front and back, that you have to do. Buying a car or a house is a lot more involved than this. Silencers, machine guns, short barrel rifles, that's a rifle with a barrel shorter than 16 inches. Short barrel shotgun, that's a shotgun with a barrel shorter than 18 inches. Any other weapons or destructive devices are covered under the National Firearms Act of 1934. In 1934, prior to 1934, silencers were just something you bought and they mailed to your house. It was like any other gun or property that you would buy. There wasn't even really serial numbers on them. They're just the model number. And sometimes not even that. Nothing was required. There wasn't regulation. Silencers were added in the National Firearms Act, which the bill itself was about machine guns and stopping mobsters from having machine guns and the fighting and back and forth, the crime of the day. Silencers were not part of that. Silencers were added into the 1934 Firearms Act because of poaching. They were feared that if silencers became popular, that poachers would illegally hunt and it would be harder for game wardens to catch them. So it's really why it was added in. Wasn't for nefarious reasons. At any rate, to own any of those firearms or silencers on that bill, you have to do what's called a Form 4 transfer. So I'll walk you through the process. Advanced Armament is a manufacturer, and we have all the credentials to do that, and we're registered with the ATF. When we build a silencer, we notify the ATF to add it to the registry. So we say, this silencer, serial number 1, was built, its model number so-and-so, it's so inches long, and it has because we're manufacturer, our city and state that we manufacture it in. They add it to the registry. Then your dealer calls up and buys the silencer, and I use what's called a Form 3 to transfer the silencer to them. So a Form 2 is what we use to register the silencer with the ATF. A Form 3 is what we use to transfer it from us to your dealer. Now that's a manufacturer to dealer or dealer to dealer transfer with no tax associated for the purpose of resale. So they're buying it to resell it to you. Once it gets to the dealer, you do what's called a Form 4 transfer, and that transfers the item from the dealer to you. So we add it to the registry with a Form 2. We transfer it in the registry from Advanced Armament to your dealer on a Form 3. And then as long as your dealer's in your state, he's going to do it to a Form 4 with you and be in the same state dealer. The Form 4 transfers it from the dealer's registry to you as an individual. And you may want to ask your dealer about how to set up a trust and do it, a corporation and do it, or do it individually. Your dealer will walk you through what that requires in your state and the ins and outs of it, but those are the 3 entities that can own it. But from a dealer to the end user. Once it goes from a dealer to an end user, that requires a $200 tax stamp. It's a $200 tax that's paid one time, and it looks just like a postage stamp, it's just bigger, has your silencer's number on there, or has your tax stamp number on there, rather. And it's $200 per unit. Now, it's a one-time tax, so if you move states or change, you just change your address and do it. Now, if you ever sell it to someone, they also have to pay a $200 tax. So if you sell it to your buddy or one of your friends, you transfer it to them individually as a trust or a corporation, then they have to pay a $200 tax. So it's per item when you buy it, but it's not an annual fee. And again, it's just one form, front and back, a Form 4, front and back, that you mail to the ATF. Now, timeline, I get that a lot. When we manufacture a silencer and file a Form 2, it's instant. Now, there is no timeline for that. We notify them to add it, they add it. Form 3 requires verification that the dealer's licensing is in good standing and AAC's licensing is in good standing, and that we've already registered the silencer. So there's a little bit of paperwork involved there. The ATF examiner, in our experience, takes 2, 3, sometimes 4 weeks to do that. These are general timelines that could go more or less. I've had a Form 3 back in a day. I've had them take 3 months. I mean, it just depends on how things work out at the examiner's office, and every examiner is different. A Form 4, now this is the one I get the most about, on average is taking 90 to 120 days right now. I remember Form 4s taking 6 months. I remember Form 4s taking 2 months. So I've heard a story recently of a guy getting one back in 3 days. So there really is no rhyme or reason to it or timeline. Depends on how busy the examiner is when he gets it. But there is some background checks that have to be done. So they have to verify who you are and what you're doing. So if it's a trust, corporation, or individual, there's different checks that go into that. But the ATF does their due diligence. They also make sure your dealer is still in good standing and can transfer the silencer to you. So they're not just checking you, they're checking your dealer. But that's the paperwork and the timeline. The quickest way to get a silencer is to find a dealer who has one in stock in your state. You can go right there and start your Form 4 and wait for the Form 4 so you can start a Form 4 process. If you find a dealer out of state that has a silencer in stock, you would have to wait on a Form 3 from the dealer out of state to your in-state dealer. That could again be 3 or 4 weeks, and then do the paperwork. So the best thing to do is find somebody that's got one in stock. If you have to order something, know there's a little bit of a wait, but all NFA stuff has a wait. It's just same with machine guns, same with short barrel rifles, same with everything. So you kind of wait on your paperwork. But once you get it back, it's well worth it. I mean, shooting without hearing protection, being able to enjoy talking to other people and shooting. And really, I emailed with a guy recently. I kind of forget what it's like because when I go and shoot with the guys from Advanced Armor, we all have silencers. So really, earplugs are a thing of the past here unless I go to a public range. So definitely worth the wait, but I get that question a lot on how it works and the process. So really you need to find a good Class 3 dealer in your area. We have a dealer locator on our website. You go to our homepage on the top right hand corner, click on dealer locator, put your zip code in and click on the magnifying glass. It takes about 60 seconds to load, but once it does load, it'll show the dealers in your state. Any Class 3 dealer can order from me. They do not have to be on my website set up as a dealer. They can order one silencer from me. There's no minimums or buy-in. So if you have a shop you like and do business with and they're not set up with me, I'd love to be set up with them and we could sell you a silencer through that shop. So a little bit about ownership. Have any questions, again, don't hesitate to call or email, but I hope that kind of clears it up. Class 3 items, period.